So pathetic. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine being like that with any person, let alone someone who almost got me killed.
But it's delusional in the sense that they've convinced themselves that didn't happen. It's like there are some senators, I'm sure McConnell is just, they're like faking it, right? Like they're begrudgingly allowing this to happen because this is what the voters want or whatever else. But these people in the House for sure, nope. It's just they have wiped it from their minds, and they are just like it's all been rewritten, and that Donald Trump wasn't involved, and there was an FBI plan, and it was whatever conspiracy theory they have. It's just that they're not faking it. I think they legitimately believe that he is their hero and that he did not try to murder them.
Ask Mike Pence.
Yeah.
So the Biden campaign has said they want voters to be thinking about January 6th when they cast their ballot in November. Do you think there will be more of these ads running everywhere the closer we get to November?
Yeah, I assume so. Like they ran this ad today because Trump was going to the Capitol. There'd be a ton of coverage of Trump going to Capitol Hill. We would all talk about it. Very clever. It worked, right? We are doing it.
Mission accomplished.
We got a lot of attention. Well, because every social media share or news coverage airing of your ad is free, right? So that's what you want, right? You don't have to pay for everyone. You want to get some free ones. So they got some free ones here. You're welcome, Biden campaign. What's interesting to me is I think that this will ramp up at the end. I do, certainly for the segment of voters that Sarah Longwell and I spent a lot of time talking about on Wednesday's pod.
Yeah.
These former Republicans, two-time Trump voters, Trump Biden voters who are very uncomfortable with Donald Trump specifically because of January 6th. You want that in their mind. And the question is, how are you going to make that breakthrough at the end? Right? Because it's going to have to be more than just ads, right? There's going to have to be a full bore surround sound style campaign to bring people back into that moment, to remember what they were thinking on that day when most Republicans, hardcore Republicans, turned away from Trump on that day for a brief fleeting period of time, but they did. And can you get people back there through high profile events, surrogates, ads? Could you take out a 30-minute spot, right? Or have a 30-minute YouTube documentary. Like you really sort of need your version of the Michael Moore Iraq War documentary that ran in 2004. You need something like that to bring people into that moment. It's going to be more than just some digital and television spots. Although you should run those, and they will run those.
I mean, I imagine in debate prep, they will be talking about a moment in the debate, probably in this debate coming up, and then maybe even more likely in the one in September, where Biden brings it up, because I think Donald Trump talking about January 6th is not going to be his best moment. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Not in the prediction business, but we'll see. But I do think that the messengers, like you could imagine some of the police officers that were injured who have already spoken out about this would be talking
and have been
about
traveling
this.
the country, right?
And have been traveling, right?
Harry Dunn, yeah.
Yep. So you can imagine that, or like a Cassidy Hutchinson, right? People who testified at the January 6th hearing. So I do think that'll get ramped up, and I think you're right. Primary audience is certainly the voters that Sarah's talking about, the two-time Trump voters who are now sick of Trump. I also think we've heard Biden mention January 6th now at the NAACP event, where he said, "Does anyone doubt if the protesters were black, that Donald Trump wouldn't have sent in the National Guard to put them down?" Which he, refused to send any help at all. So I think that there is, for some voters, I think voters who are tuned out, voters who maybe aren't too happy with Joe Biden, who aren't sure if they're going to vote, I think reminding them of the kind of, not just like, hey, this happened January 6th, but this is the kind of violence that Donald Trump has incited. This is the kind of chaos that he's incited. And why would you think that he's not going to do that again?
In general, you probably want to try to focus people on the fact that one of the two people running for president tried to violently overthrow the government 4 years ago.
Just just something that you want to file away when you head into the voting booth. It's something you want to think about. So Trump met privately with all the House Republicans, then all the Senate Republicans. There were no reporters in either meeting, but there were plenty of sources leaking to reporters who were in the meeting. So here's a rundown of what happened. Trump called Milwaukee, the swing state city that's hosting the Republican convention, a, quote, horrible city. He referred to the Justice Department as dirty bastards. He complained about Taylor Swift not endorsing him. He said Nancy Pelosi's daughter once told him that if things had been different, he and Nancy would be perfect together. And he once again praised one of his favorite make-believe friends.
Apparently, the former president made reference to Hannibal Lecter and said, nice guy, quote, he even had a friend over for dinner. So we've seen Trump out on the campaign trail praising Hannibal Lecter. Apparently he did it again this morning. Not sure we fully understand the context of that.
What fucking world are we living in, Dan? What is happening? like a CNN report. Like, he did mention Hannibal Lecter again, the guy who's the Republican nominee for president and a convicted felon, once again talking about Hannibal Lecter for no discernible reason.
Stay tuned for more context. We're calling our sources to see what he's talking about. As opposed to just like so much of Trump coverage should just be someone yelling like, what the fuck as I'll say possibly can into a microphone. Instead, it's just like, not entirely sure what that meant there, but I'm sure there was a reason why he mentioned a fictional serial killer in a meeting with congressional Republicans.
So this is now that he's been doing frequently for some reason. Like, I don't know. What do you think about the Milwaukee thing? This has sparked I think every elected Democrat from Wisconsin has now tweeted about it. I think like the mayor has already said something about it.
Did a press conference.
There's a press conference already. This is we're recording this Thursday. By like an hour after it was tweeted that Trump said that, it's full blown. There's probably billboards coming up everywhere. It's gonna be great.
I love it because it just is a reminder that with like as much as everything's changed, the media is disintegrated, Trump's insane, is that there's still just like some old school politics that happens. Politician says something bad about a swing state, you just dust off the playbook, you leap into action. You get the mayor out there, you get Congress people. I'm sure they're getting small business. There's going to be an ad on Milwaukee radio by the end of the day. There's going to be a bunch of like small business people and veterans from Milwaukee talking about just, I love it. It's great. Hammer him for it. Is it going to really matter that much? Probably not. But can you make it slightly uncomfortable for a few minutes? Can you, just as a way to like throw some grist in the mill during the Republican convention in Milwaukee? Absolutely.
Well, it's also it's funny that all these Republicans from Wisconsin and other Republicans who were in the meeting, the stories are all different. Like, some of them are like, he never said that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's completely false. And then others said, oh, he did say that, but he was referring to the fact that the crime rate is so high in Milwaukee. So he was talking about the crime. And then someone else was like, oh, no, he was talking about how they stole the election in Milwaukee in 2020. It's like, none of this is making it better, you dipshits.
Yeah. And also, like, just stop talking.
It's fun, but like, this is how Trump views cities in America now, right? Like, he knows that cities are full of Democrats and Democrats don't like them. And so every city has to be a hellhole that's crime ridden and dirty. He says it about DC. He says it about Chicago, Milwaukee. Doesn't matter if it's a swing state city or not. He's every urban area where there are Democratic voters that do not like him, he wants to turn the rest of the country against. And by the way, this is part of his plan. He wants to invoke the Insurrection Act and send the army into these cities to fight crime and to deport immigrants. And he wants to have police do mandatory stop and frisk. Like, this is his agenda. This is how he actually feels about cities. So it is funny and a traditional politics thing, but it's also the guy deeply hates cities right now.
Yeah, and it is the Fox News view of urban America. Right?
Yes.
Like, that's how he knows about cities, right? 100%. It is that. It's how it's portrayed. And it has, yes, as I said, it is amusing in this weird context, but it has some knock-on effects down the line that about policy and Trump's actions that it could be very damaging to the people who live in those cities, regardless of what he called them.
So, according to the media outlet Notice, one source in the room said that Trump's speech was, quote, like talking to your drunk uncle at the family reunion. Finally, some honesty. But let's hear what Republicans said in public about the meeting.
He was funny. He was joking around constantly with everyone. He was really sweet to me. He saw me in there and he was like, hello, Marjorie. He's always so sweet and recognizes me.
He said very complimentary things about all of us. We had sustained applause. He said, I'm doing a very good job. I mean, we're grateful for that.
And you know what Trump meetings are like. He's electric. He's got an incredible fastball. And I think that was just exciting after all he'd been through, how strong this man is.
This is an outstanding group of people. I'm with them 1,000%. There was Me, 1,000%. We agree just about on everything, and if there isn't, we work it out.
I like Marjorie Taylor Greene being like, he recognized me. Yeah, like, no shit.
He said
you
hello.